So the action plan is what moved me from being unfocused and frustrated to committed and getting results every single week with a planning routine that I love. And I'm going to share this 3-step plan with you too. So step 1, this is all about how you are going to make time for planning and for your goals. But first, when it comes to the way you plan now, what type of planner are you and what kind of planner do you think is going to be right for you? So I know I'm not the only one to be swayed in the stationery aisle by pretty planners in all shapes and all sizes. And if you throw in a matching pen or a mouse mat or a tote, then you've got me hooked. But the prettiest planner isn't always the right one for us. It isn't always the perfect one. So here's how you can make a quick decision about what planner is best for you. So write down the answers to the ones that align with you the most. And think about this. Are you a list maker, or do you like to journal things out or write long sentences? Are you a doodler? Do you need space to create? Do you need to plan hour by hour, or a combination of all of those? Here are some of my recommendations. So if you're a list maker, you might find a vertical planner is perfect for you. If you're more of a journaler, it could be a horizontal planner. If you're a doodler, maybe a bullet journal. Or if you plan hour by hour, it could be an hourly planner. Finding your planner is one thing, but creating a planning routine that enhances your life is what turns this into a planning habit that you're actually going to stick to. So let's start with this. When is the best time in the week for you to plan? Now, it could be very different for each of you and it could change over time. Now, there are 3 things for you to consider when you're starting a new planning routine. So first of all, when are you the least busy? So is there a time in the week where you're on your own, when it's quiet, or when you can really concentrate on laying out all of your plans? Now, if you're a busy mum like me, that might be a weekday before the kids get home from school, or it could be after they've gone to bed. So number 2, when are you the most relaxed and inspired in the week? When do you feel really pumped and excited? Maybe you're an early bird and that's when your creative juices flow, or maybe you're a night owl. When are you at your best? So think about when you might be able to find creative ways to be more efficient and get things done. Now, thirdly, when do you have enough time to plan? Because when we're in the flow of planning, we want to complete that in one sitting. We don't want to just plan here and there throughout the week. So think about that. Now, it takes me around 15 or 20 minutes to plan my week. So I need to make sure that I've got that amount of time when I'm sitting down to do the planning, and you should do the same. But what day of the week should you plan? So a lot of people I know plan on a Sunday or on a Monday morning, and that can work really well for some people. But for me, planning on a Friday was an absolute game changer. So I don't know about you, but by about 3 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, I'm pretty much good for nothing. I'm starting to feel a bit sleepy, a bit exhausted. I'm waiting for the kids to get home from school. So I'm excited to see them, but I just don't really have too much left in the tank to do anything too creative. However, planning my week does give me that little bit of creativity for what's left. And it means that I've got everything planned before the weekend. So what I like to do is on a Friday afternoon, I'll take 15 to 20 minutes out of my day and I'll plan for the week then. And it's a really good use of that time. So I do this because it's my quiet time, like I say, before the kids get home and before the dinner time rush. And I like to get creative in my planner with the energy I have. I like to use stickers in my planner. Do you? Let me know if you use stickers. I also love to sink into gratitude and just reflect on the week that was and see what really went well and what I'd like to celebrate. And I like to plan the next week in advance of the weekend. So I'm not spending my weekend thinking about what either I didn't get done or what I need to do. I can just draw a line under the week and not think about the week ahead too much, but just enjoy the weekend. And then when my alarm goes off on a Monday morning, I know exactly what my plans are for the week. So I know exactly what to do. There's no scrambling, there's no panic. And I would love for you to give planning on a Friday afternoon a go too. So now you have your planner and you've chosen when you're going to plan. Let's move on now to how you can plan for success every day. Now, there are 5 steps to this, so let's go through them all. So in Brian Tracy's book, Eat the Frog, he recommends picking the one thing that you don't really have any motivation to do and putting that first in your planner. So I love this concept, but I added to it a little bit myself. So for me, it could also be the thing that is really important for me that day, and I want the rest of my day to revolve around it. So essentially, it's the one thing that you have to get done first, or that, you know, the thing that if you get it done, you'll feel really great about it. You'll get it off your plate. You won't be stressed anymore. And you'll be able to tackle the rest of your to-do list with a really positive and focused mindset. So when it comes to planning your day, here are the 5 things that I want you to follow. So number 1, we're going to pick a planner and commit to using it every day for at least a month. Give it a really good go. Secondly, we're going to eat the frog. And thirdly, we're going to have a daily to-do list in order of priority. So I recommend no more than 5 tasks. 3 to 5 seems to be a sweet spot for most people I know. Now, of course, it fully depends on your schedule. You may have more, you may have less. It depends what you're planning for. Now, number 4, we don't want to forget the fun. So make sure you're planning for fun activities or self-care activities that you can put into your plans every day or every week. Now, number 5, we're going to set reminders. So if you're just starting out with a brand new planner or a new planning routine, you're not in the habit yet of using those things or doing those things. And I think it's really common when I speak to my audience, it's common to forget to use your planner. So do what you can to help with this. Set reminders on your phone to use it, or have it open on your desk or in the kitchen or wherever you're going to see that the most. Mine is always open next to me on my desk. So when you think about your to-do list today, what is the frog? Think about this now. What could the frog be today? What is it something that you've been putting off from your to-do list? Or maybe it's something that you've been moving from one day to the next and just never quite checking it off. Is it something that you're dreading, or is it boring, or is it hard or time consuming? Is it something that you just don't enjoy? Or is it something that's really super important, like an event or a deadline or a project or an appointment? Now, if we're not in the habit of planning for our goals, the chances of achieving them are so much slimmer. And everything that you do and have in your life is a result of the habits that you have that support those things. So let's simplify this. Now, as an example, if you want to be a marathon runner, you're going to have to get in the habit of running often and increasing your fitness and stamina. If you want to be organized with dinner, you need to get in the habit of planning your weekly meals, making a shopping list, and prepping the ingredients. And if you want to achieve all of the things on your to-do list, then you need to have the habits of the kind of people who are already achieving those things. Make sense? So how many of these helpful habits for success have you tried? How about dedicating time every week to checking off your to-do list and setting goals that specifically relate to the results you want? How about sitting down to plan your week, like we've said, every single week, prioritizing your tasks so you're not overscheduling them, turning off all of the distractions. I'm guilty for not always doing this. Batching tasks to save time and energy, sharing your goals with others. This is so important and so effective, and asking for accountability and checking in with those people as well so that you're making sure that you're both on track. And staying consistent with all of these things week after week after week until these planning habits are really ingrained in you. So when you embrace the identity of a person who is committed to planning their goals with the intentional actions that you need to take and the helpful planning habits that support that identity and those actions, this is when you finally get the results that you want. This is when you actually become a goal getter and start having success. So as James Clear says in his book, Atomic Habits, success is the product of our daily habits. It's so true, isn't it? So create helpful planning habits that contribute to your success and release unhelpful habits that are having the opposite effect. So here's the action plan that you need to follow. It's the guaranteed way to finally start taking action on the right activities and plan for success. So it's broken up into 3 parts. So number 1, we're going to dedicate time to planning and achieving your goals every single week. Number 2, you're going to plan your day for intentional action. And number 3, we're going to make planning a habit. So I'm going to break these 3 steps down for you now. First of all, we're going to choose that planner and we're going to commit to using it every day for at least a month. So here's another look so you can pick the best planner that works for you. Will it be a vertical, a horizontal, a bullet journal, an hourly? There are more, but these are the main 4 that people tend to choose. So let me know, which one do you think you're going to go for? Or do you already have a planner that you love? Which one is it? So part 2, this is when you're going to commit to action, to actually doing the work you've now identified is the highest and best use of your time. So with the 5 steps to successful daily planning, you can do this. So make sure you're going to pick a planner, you're going to eat the frog, you're going to do that to-do list with no more than 5 tasks on there every day. You're going to plan for fun, and you will set reminders to make sure you stick with this new planner and new planning routine. Think about this too. How can you embody the kind of values or traits or behaviors that an intentional action taker would take? So think about this. How about being focused? How about being a dedicated person, clear, committed, even hopeful about the plans that you're planning for? And there are many more different identities that you can take on. So Pablo Picasso said, action is the foundational key to all success, and I could not agree more. So work out what being an intentional action taker means to you, and then commit to taking those intentional actions every single day. Having the most refined to-do list and the identity of an intentional action taker will get you so far, but when it comes to working towards your goals, creating a planet habit that works and lasts, this is the biggest piece of the puzzle. So uncomfortable truth time. If we're not in the habit of taking the intentional actions to reach our goals, well, we must be in the habit of not doing, to see how we're always in our habits, but we can make them work for us. So remember, when you embrace the identity of a person who is committed to reaching their goals with the intentional actions that you need to take, plus the planning habits that will support that identity and those actions, this is when you're finally going to get the results you want and you will become a goal getter. Now, if you take away one thing from this class today, then know this: you can start to achieve the goals that you set for yourself every single week when you pick a perfect planner, when you plan for success, and when you create the habit of planning.